Hello everybody! This is my 24-hour, hopefully we'll see how this goes, scallywagathon. This is a month-long readathon hosted by with Allie, previously known as Hardback Hoarder. I will eventually stop saying that, but until we get to that point. Allie often, like once, maybe twice a year, depending on, situations and life, will do 24-hour readathons. And usually there's a buddy read, and it's just like a low-key, like, come read, hang out for 24 hours. Straight. No rest for the wicked. And normally, I'll just jump in, participate. I read Babel with Allie 2 years ago. And this time, the buddy read is The Adventures of Amin al-Sarafi, because pirates. I am not going to be reading that, I don't think, because I've already read it before, and I have a bunch of stuff on the TBR. But this one's fun because this is a part of scallywagathon, which is making a comeback this year, and we are doing an adventure-style prompt readathon system game thing. So basically, there's a bunch of prompts and some bonus prompts, and you can go to different locations for the prompts, read a book, move on. And there's minimum of 5 books that need to be read. So you start with one of the first 3 locations, and then you can go anywhere from there. And then you can, I think, do any amount of bonus, and then you have to end up at the Lost City at the end, which there's 3 potential prompts for that as well. And so, I thought, wouldn't it be more fun that I do the, the treasure? So for treasure hunt, you must start at one of the first 3 locations, and then after that, you have to include at least 1 side quest, and you must end up at the Lost City, and you have to stop in 5 locations. So, simple, easy. The reason I'm picking the treasure hunt, because you can choose and pick whatever you want, is because we're going to spin or wheel it. We're going to spin for all of my prompts, and the goal, the big ambitious goal, is that I will read the 5 books in 24 hours. Finish scallywagathon, because if you know, I don't know if this is its own video or if it's going in my readathons video, but as you know, there's a lot of readathons happening this month, and I'm trying to participate in them all, at least a little bit, and if I can complete them, more credit to me. So we're going to play a little spinner wheel, and this is going to decide the prompts that I read, and I have a potential list of books that could work for the prompts that I have currently available to me. Some of them are short, some of them are a little bit longer, some of them are a little bit more intimidating. We're gonna have to just wait and see how it goes. But I've got a couple rules for myself because it's a readathon. We're staying up for 24 hours, which is maybe a little bit too crazy because I do have plans tomorrow evening. We're traveling for like a 3-hour car ride, so I'm gonna need sleep tomorrow between those adventures. A few ground rules. I have already filled my water with ice, and this is about 40 ounces. My goal is to drink 2 of these throughout this 24 hours. And once I finish this first water, that is when I'm allowed to open up a caffeined beverage. Seeing as that probably won't need to happen until later this afternoon or evening or midnight, who knows. Usually there's like a lull between like midnight and 3 a.m. where you're like, oh, I'm really tired, and then 3 a.m. hits and you're like, I've got the energy back. So I'm not too worried about staying up. I haven't done it in a while, but I really need to prioritize drinking water during this time because I'm really bad at it, and I usually just have 1 caffeinated beverage on my days off, and I need to prioritize drinking water. Snacks are a given. I've got many snacks, so I'm not worried there. I would tell you the potential TBR, but truly there's so many books. Like, it's like 25 potential books. So there's a lot. We're not going to go over them all. That'd just be too many. Anything that I don't read for the 24 hours, obviously I'm going to try and read for the rest of the month. So I'm not too stressed about it, but Allie is currently just chit-chatting. They're playing some games before we really get started. This technically started at 7, but there was a bunch of technical difficulties, so it started a little bit late, and they're not reading yet. So I don't know how often I'm going to be actively participating in the bits that Allie is doing, like with people. Usually it's reading sprints. So basically you're reading for a period of time. I think we read for like an hour and then talk for like 15 minutes and kind of go through that cycle. I don't know how often I'm going to be taking breaks. I'll probably just do it when I feel the need, but there might be some times where I just read through the chatty bits just so that I'm staying on track if I'm trying to read this many books. Here she is, my little spinner wheel. Let's spin her and decide which of the first prompts I'm doing. I don't necessarily have one that I'm like really tied to, but 3. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, so prompt number 3 is a book someone else picked. I have two options for this one, and they're not the shortest. I have audiobooks for them both, but I think one of them is like the longest book you could possibly have, and there's potential that I could read it later. So, the first option is City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. This audiobook is 26 hours long. This is a chunky urban romantasy that I need to read this month. It's on my 12 Friends Recommend 12 Books. It's on my, I believe, TBR. My best friend Eliza really wants me to read it. She loves it. The fourth book literally just came out like a couple days ago at the time of filming this. It's January 12th. No, it's not January. Oh my god, it's July 12th. Good lord. So that's one of the options. But I will be honest, there are other options, especially towards the end, that I could still pick this up. But again, she is chunky. So the other option that I have is a bit shorter. It's 15 hours. And I have a physical copy of this, and it's 5 Broken Blades by Mia Corland. And I feel like that might be the move. It's another book that Eliza really wants me to read. She's really enjoyed the series. I think the first 2, if not 3 books are out. I don't know. I'm not really in the loop, to be honest. I guess we're reading 5 Broken Blades first, which is like so chunky. I've really done myself a disservice. But here's the thing. There's not a lot of books on my TBR that somebody else has picked for me. No, we're just gonna commit. We're gonna commit. The first book, 5 Broken Blades. If I don't take a break, this will take me about 5 hours to finish, which is a little bit chunky. I think it's possible. I think it's doable. I think honestly starting with a chunkier book at the beginning is probably a better bet than trying to do the chunky book later, just because it's early. I've got the energy. It's only 8 a.m. We've got so much time ahead of us. So I think I'm going to pick this up because I'm physically reading along with the audiobook. I'm able to listen at 3 times speed. Hopefully the narrator is not too crazy and that can stay possible. This is a book a month edition, so you know margins are quite big, font is quite large, so that makes me feel a little bit better too. Also, it's romantasy. It's a bunch of criminals, I think, coming together, and I don't know if it's for a game or if it's trials. Let's see. Let's just figure this out. Okay, it's the season for treason. The king of Usen must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god King June. He has it coming. Under his merciless immoral hand, the nobles flourish while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. Now, each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tasted bitterness, from the hired hitman seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, or even the prince banished for his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. They can agree on murder, they can agree on treachery. But for these 5 killers, each versed in deception, lies, and betrayal, it's not enough to forge an alliance. To survive, they will have to find a way to trust each other. But only one can take the crown. Let the best liar win. So it sounds very fun. I've had this on my TBR since May of 2024, so it'll be nice to check it off. If I really like it, I might treat myself at some point this year to the special editions. Because again, I think the first 2 for sure are out, and they've still got like the special sprayed editions in stock. So I might pick that up if I really love it, and then maybe get rid of my book of the month copy. But it'll be nice to check this off and read the things. So anyway, that's my little beginning check-in. I guess it's check-in. I don't think I'm gonna check in every hour because I think that might just be too much, but maybe when I'm like a quarter into this, I'll check in and let you guys know how it's going, and then halfway, and then once it ends, and then yeah, any like things going on, I'll let you know, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really thought of like the behind the scenes for this video quite yet. I just know that I'm a pirate today and we're gonna read some good books. Great! Would you look at that? I switched up the angle. Okay, we're, what, maybe a third. Oh no, my bookmark. A third in. Gotta shout it out using a Pokemon bookmark. I don't have anything pirate themed for bookmarks, so we're using an underwater one, which works for me. Pirates just got introduced. Who would have thought that my little criminal book of a assassination attempt was gonna have pirates? It's so fitting. Anywho, I've made it a third in. We are 3 hours into the readathon. I'm a little bit behind on the readathon, but I've had food. I feel good. All is well. I've got protein shake. I've got water I've taken like 3 sips from. 4. And I've made it in further into my book. So, oh boy, how do I talk about this? We are a third into this. We have 5 perspectives. Sorry, Allie was dancing, so I started dancing. We're no, God, I'm a mess. We're 5 perspectives in. I think we're only going to get these 5, and it's very clear who is going to be romancing with who and how they all connect. You've got 5 perspectives. We've got Sora, who is deeply traumatized and is an assassin for a count, and she's going to have an enemies to lovers romance. And then we have the Prince, Ewan, and the Royal Spy Master, Malik, and they're a second chance. And then you have Royo and Aerie, and they're like grumpy sunshine. So everybody has a trope. Everybody's on a road trip. They're all on a journey. They're all going to, I suppose, at some point convene and unlikely allies this assassination attempt against the king. And I don't know. It's not bad. I can understand why a lot of people have enjoyed this. They're just like, you know, if you connect to a character or two, you're gonna have fun. If you're invested in them as characters, it's gonna be a win. I don't really care about any of them because I'm really struggling with the characterization of them. We have these like morally gray characters because we have an assassin, we have a hitman, we have a spy master who also does assassiny things, we have a prince who's killed people, we have a thief, we have the count who's evil. Like, there's just, everyone's bad, but at their core, they are all traumatized people who have done what they need to do for surviving, but they are all at their core good people. They all are doing it for like a moral and just cause. Like, there's good intent behind the harm that they do. Like, they're such feminists. Like, it's just a little bit try hard, a little bit preachy. It's not subtle by any means. It's like, hey guys, well, sure, he's a hitman, but he would never kill a woman. It's like, well, okay. Like, I don't know. It's just like a little weird and preachy and a little bit too in your face. It's not very subtle. It's telling you how you need to feel about everybody. It's giving you more information than I think the characters themselves know. Like, right off the bat, we have Royo and Aerie, and they're traveling together. And they are already so intertwined with each other. He's telling her secrets that he never talks about and never tells anyone. It's like, you've known this girl for simply a day because she's hired you to help her. And you're telling her about your trauma? Like, it's not viable. Like, I don't care if she's a little sunshine and she's so bubbly and sweet and she just cares so much. Therefore, he can't help himself but tell her. I don't buy into it. It's just, everything is a little bit too convenient and easy so far. But again, we had pirates. We had a monster fight. So there's been action, which is nice. I love to see it. I will also say that, yes, the characters are distinct because they all have different traumas, and they all have different narrators, which I do appreciate. Narrators are all different. But the writing style is not so different that you're like, oh, I can distinctly tell these people apart, because there are times where I get Sora and Aerie confused. And for the longest time, we were in a Sora chapter. And I thought we were with Aerie for some reason because we were talking about Sora's sister, who is collateral and is the reason why she's doing the assassinations for the Count. And I kid you not, I was like, why does Aerie know her sister? I was so confused. I was like, oh no, Sora is the one. Like, Sora is the sister. I've just been really struggling with keeping all of, not only the 5 core characters in mind, but all of the characters surrounding them. So you've got Sora and her enemies to lovers arc with the Count's son. I'm assuming it's very obvious that all of these people are going to romance no matter what they say. So you've got like them, But then there's also the Count, and then there's also the Count's brother, and then offsuit of that we have Roro and his traumatizing past and like who he was involved in. And so like if you aren't paying close enough attention, they're gonna say a name and you're gonna forget who that name was associated with, and then you're gonna be just all sorts of confused. Because this is told in first person, which I love first person. I'm the first to say it. I think first person is great. It really helps me connect with the characters and their feelings if it's well written. When you have 5 perspectives and the voices are not distinct outside of the narrators, because that's their job, it's not a good show of writing. And so I'm a little perplexed about how I feel. Like, it's fine. I'm not having a bad time, but I'm also not liking it, you know? So I'm gonna keep reading. We've gotten to a break, so we've done 2 sprints so far, technically. I've got 3 hours to go. Ish, 3.5 maybe to go, which isn't too terrible. I'm on track to finishing this around 2 if I don't take too many breaks. But that's where we're at. I'm stretching every once in a while. I'm getting up and moving my little legs so I'm not too stationary. I do have a treadmill, so if I need to like really go on a walk later, I might do that. Or if I'm listening, if I spin for a audiobook, I can get a lot more done today. So we'll just kind of have to play it by ear and see what I spin. But because I started with a chunker, we're gonna have to finish this bad boy. I wish that I was liking this more. I really, really want to love this. I really want it to be a 5-star prediction. I'm sure it's going to end in a really good way, but it's also like, okay, everyone's gonna try to assassinate the God King, but all they have to do is take off his little crown and then you can kill him. How this is going to be a big series, I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't sound like there's any trials or games. The only thing that's keeping me interested in what's going on is how all of them have the same mission and how that's interconnected. Like, I know how 3 of the 5 characters are connected, but I don't know. 3? No, I know how the 4 characters are connected. I don't know how Sora fits into this group and why she's been involved and like why she's in on it. And it seems like 2 different things are going. I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, but like there's 2 different plots going on, if you will. And so I'm not really sure how they're gonna weave all together and make it make sense to my brain. God, I can't talk today. This is terrible for a 24-hour readathon. Anywho, with that said, I'm going to jump back into reading, I think, because I've got pretty good momentum going. I've had food. So I don't feel like I need to take a pause, but at the same time, it's not so good that I'm like gripped and eager to pick it up. Like, I could procrastinate and talk to you guys for a long time if you wanted, but I do have a goal and a mission. So I have to get to reading this, even if I don't necessarily want to. Maybe I should ask Eliza and be like, hey girl, tell me why you love this book so much, and then I'll feel more inclined to pick it up. Okay. I gotta go, or I'll just talk. Goodbye. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys just how horny everybody is. I believe this is supposed to be like rated 1 spice pepper, where it's like fade to black, but like a little bit of details, but it's not like super spicy, which I think I prefer for this type of story. But oh my god, are they so horny, so down bad. The reason I knew the enemies to lovers was happening was because he is such a simp, and I'm here for it. But everybody else, painfully horny. You've got a second chance and they're like, I still love him. Oh my god, I love him so much. Which I do appreciate that it's a gay relationship in a romantasy setting, because that's not too common in like traditionally published mainstream hyped books. But god, Ari especially is so horny, and for what? Like, I can't with the horniness. It's too soon, it's too much. There's no good payoff. I'm just like frustrated and annoyed about it, but like, come on. This is the 3rd romantasy book where this has been the person's tactic. Why is this so common now? We are almost 50% into this book, and 2 parties have joined forces. We've got Sora and her guy Taeyang, and then we have Ewan and Mikhail. So many names. So the prince and his spy lover have joined the enemies to lovers group. Okay, that truly feels the easiest way to explain it. But we've got a group. They're coming together. It does seem like I've gotten my answer as to why they're all working together. But now that I have the answer of like why they're working together, I'm not like it has gotten better. The gays got the first kiss and sexier scene. So go gays. What else has happened? Yeah, they've all just kind of been pining after each other, except for Sora. She's my favorite so far. She has the most background and motivation and reasoning for the way that she feels, whereas everybody else is kind of just like, I love this person. And it's like, okay, anything else maybe? So I'm enjoying Sora the most. And that's really, that's all I really have to say, 50% in. My guesses for the future are that we're going to kill the king, and Eon is going to become king, and everybody will work in his group. But if they don't kill him, I think the rest of the series is going to be they go on the journey to find the 5 Dragonland relics that are lost. Because that's the only thing that like makes sense to have a continuation and it be more adventuring as a little found family potentially. We'll have to wait and see. But Sora's my favorite so far. And then I think following Sora would be Mikhail, my lord. And then the rest I don't really care about. So yeah, I think we're gonna 50%. That's where we're at. I'm probably just gonna get through this last 2 hours, 40 minutes, 3 hours. Get through it and check in with you guys when it's done so we can continue. I'm so sad that I'm not obsessed and loving this. I really thought this was going to be a 5-star win, and unfortunately it's not. So that sucks for me. But Allie and chat are having fun with the little ducks. Love the ducks. Not sure which one's my favorite yet. I really did like the one with the donkey ears. That one's been my favorite, I think, so far. But that's kind of what's been going on with us. I'm going to keep reading. Hoping that the narrators are not doing great. I'm going to be honest, the audiobook production, there's like I speed up my audiobooks. So there should not be big, long pauses in between sentences for no reason. Some of them talk much slower than others, so the pacing is just kind of off. Don't love the audiobook. I don't necessarily recommend it, but we've got another 45-minute sprint that just started. So I'm going to make a dent into this. I'll check in with you guys later, probably when I finish. Around 2 p.m. It's 11:30 right now. So, wow! Let's go! Okay. I am 66%. And I would say like 60% in like action picks up, the gang is all together, and so you're getting to see how they play off of each other and like the way they care and stuff. So it's almost like you're getting a found family, but it feels a little bit not forced, because like this would happen in like a heist assassination type movie or novel. Like you would have them work together and care for each other's safeties because that's how you get the job done. So I do like it, and there hasn't been like super, I think the issue is everybody's perfect. There's so much convenience for the plot for things to go well, so the stakes don't feel very high ever. You know everyone's gonna be fine and it's gonna all work out because everyone knows more than they're supposed to know. Like everybody can clock who has feelings for who without having conversations. They just know more than the actual characters do. Or when some type of bad thing is about to happen. When some type of bad thing is going to happen. Like I've just got out of a scene where they had to fight. The people who were not in the scene prior suddenly knew the same information without it like being discussed or like having moments. They just knew. So they know too much. The author knows everything, and so she's giving her characters too much knowledge than what they would actually have. It's kind of like metagaming, but for your characters in your book. So it is a little bit silly for that, because it's just, of course this would happen. Of course everything's fine. Of course no one gets hurt. Like, of course the convenient thing is going to happen next. And so that part is a little bit annoying, but because I've spent now 300 pages with these characters, I do enjoy being with them a little bit more and getting to know them still and seeing them interact with one another. I'm excited for them to do the job. But other than that, like, it's not crazy. It's not crazy good. It's a little bit disappointing, but again, last 6%. I've been enjoying it, minus the conveniency of it all. I have an hour, a little under 2 hours left, so taking longer than I expected. But when you chit chat and you stop to look at the ducks, you get distracted. So I'm gonna keep reading. We've got a 45 sprint going right now. We're on our 5th sprint, so we're definitely like slowing down a little bit. Not quite as fast, but it's still very early. Not only have I finished my water, I have also finished my book. We are 8 hours in, so this took a lot longer than I anticipated or planned for. And I'm gonna say it wasn't entirely my fault. Yeah, I did take breaks. I had lunch. I, did whatever I had to do. But the audiobook is bad. I think I will give credit to the narrators. There was a narrator for each perspective. Love that. Good job. Why in the edit of this audiobook did we feel like it was the right decision to leave in the absolute longest of pauses you could possibly have? I'm listening at 3 times speed. I shouldn't hear the pauses. I shouldn't hear the intakes of breath. I shouldn't have to participate in any of that. I'm listening to it faster to avoid those things. Oh my god, the pauses were excruciating. I was like, can we say the sentences a little bit faster? My eyes, I'm a slow reader. My eyes could read faster than what the narrators were saying. It was driving me crazy. Should I have just put the audiobook down? Maybe. How do I feel about this book? I don't know. Eliza, I'm so sorry. I skipped maybe. Just a little bit. I don't think I like this. I think this would have been really strong if it was aged up. And I know that this is adult, but it is written like it's young adult. The characters are all early 20s, but don't even feel like it. And it's not satisfying because they feel so young. This was a debut, and you can feel it. The author did not trust the reader. The author had to explain very simple things to us. Like, there was a beginning portion where the author felt the need to tell me what a courtesan was. It's like, I know, babes. I'm an adult. This is normal. Like, I love Moulin Rouge. Like, we know these words. I don't need you to explain the terms in the text as if I don't know anything. It just felt like she didn't trust us. It felt like she had to repeat herself, tell us constantly what everyone was feeling, and, God, don't get, again, if this had focused on the fantasy and was fantasy first, and it was slow burn, maybe 1, maybe 2 romances throughout the thing, this could have been great. The romances really destroyed this book. It was so frustrating. The insta-love connections that everybody had to go through were ridiculous. One second we had an enemies to lovers where she's like, I'm gonna kill this man. And then he's like, I've always loved her, for no reason. They've barely had conversations. And after he, like, confesses that he has feelings, she's instantly like, actually, you know what? Maybe me too. Girl, no. That's not how that works. I was so disappointed with the romances in all of this. It's annoying in the sense that it is light on the romance, but it is the characters' primarily focus. Like, their primary focus is, God, they're so hot. God, I can't, I'm so sad when I'm away from them. I can't stand being away from them, but also I don't like them. And then you have other chapters of everybody else being like, they're so in love. And you're like, shut the fuck up. Stop. Also, why the sexism? Why? It was so weird. It felt so out of place. It didn't feel natural. It felt like, again, the author didn't trust us and was like, I want you to feel like feminist and like the world is wrong and empower the characters. But it just came off disingenuine and weird. it was really, really weird the way that women were talked about over and over and over again, and not in a way that was challenged very often. One character got challenged, but the rest of the world, not challenged. Strange behavior. There were very few things that I enjoyed. I think, so the 60 to 66% mark, I was like, ooh, okay, this is fun, but it takes so freaking long for us to get to the point of the heist, if you will. And the last 10% was better because we stopped caring about the romances. That was so far from the focus. We were like, it's game time. And it was much better because of that. And there was more action, and there was just a lot happening. And there was a couple things that I was like, okay, like I didn't see everything coming, so it felt satisfying. I'm excited for the sequel, even though I'm concerned about it. I'm hoping that she's improved as she continues writing this world, because I don't know how much better, like this could be so much better if it had the right team behind it. I'm sorry. I know that we are so hot and cold when it comes to Red Tower. Red Tower, famous for Fourth Wing, poorly edited. This had acknowledgments thanking the team of people. Team where? Red Tower, get your shit together. Oh my god, I can't sometimes. I'm just like, why? Edit better. If this is supposed to be adult, age it up. Stop making it feel so young. This read like young adult in a derogatory way. I love young adult. You can write young adult that feels age appropriate and serious and dark, and this is young adult in a bad way. But it's supposed to be adult? Ugh. So it's tough because I kind of want to give it 3 stars, but I also want to give it 2 stars because I don't think it was good. I want to give it 3 because I will listen to the audiobook at work for the sequel. I don't think I'm going to buy the special editions because the narrators are slow. It's something that I can easily listen to at work and finish at a decent time and not feel like I'm going to get lost because they are really taking their time telling me the story. I might unhaul this at some point too. It was simply just okay. I think the ending is where it shined the most, which makes me want to round it up a little bit because I do think there's the essence of like the character backgrounds and the few action moments on the road that we do get. I do see so much potential that it's not horrible, but at the same time there was just like the romances were god awful. The convenience of everything was bad. Everything was too safe. There was not one point where I was concerned about anyone at all. I genuinely was praying someone would die at the end just to give me a taste of like something, something monumental. But I'm happy to have read it. I'm glad that it's over. This took way longer than I had planned, which means we have to spin the wheel. We've got numbers now. You can barely tell. So basically, now that we finished the first prompt, we get to move on to prompts 4 through 11, which I think we're going to do 2 of these, and then we'll do 2 of the side prompts, and then we'll do the final. That's the plan. It's 3:20. I've been yapping a lot. Oh, it was a good spin. That was a very long spin. It's going to end eventually. Oh. Okay, so it was a 5, and then it looked like it moved to 6. So let's see my options. Ooh, okay. This is interesting. It landed on 5, which was myths or fairy tales, and I have 2 options for this, and they're both audiobooks, which I think might be the move, because that's gonna, help break up the reading. I have 2 options. One's 11 hours long. The other is like 8 hours long, so I could knock that one out pretty quick, and I'm really excited for this one. So, I know that it landed technically on 6 because it moved, but we're going with the first one because 6 is red or orange on the cover, and I have 2 physical books for that I just don't really want. So we're sticking with 5, and we're going to listen to The Lamb, which is so exciting. This is by Lucy Rose. I'm assuming there's cannibalism. I don't really know anything else. So that's really exciting. I have a couple things that I would like to get done. I need to clean a little bit. My jaw is in so much pain. I don't know what I've done. Anyways, I think I'm gonna tidy a little bit while I start the audiobook, and then I might play some Sims, because I'm on a Sims kick, as we all know. I'll check in with you guys when I have more. I don't know what's going on with this book. I don't know anything. I think it was on Jordaline's Mid-Year Freakout tag of one of her best books of the year, so I'm excited. It's shorter, which is gonna be great. Power through this one. I'm excited. So yes, I'm gonna start listening. I will update you guys when I know what's going on and my initial thoughts. But, yay, one book down! Woo! It is way later. It's already, it's now 6 p.m. We are 11 hours. Oh my god, my jaw hurts so bad. We're 11 hours in now, which means we're almost 12 hours, which means we're almost halfway. I'm very behind, but guys, I am 32% into The Lamb. I played The Sims in that time. I've stopped playing The Sims now, and I have 2 hours to go, and I'm not liking this. The writing style and narration is reminding me of Victorian Psycho. So if you liked one, you might like the other. This one, obviously, cannibalism. But there's just a few things that I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's a story about cannibalism. That's true. And we're following a little girl. This is a coming-of-age story. She's obsessed with her mom. It's a lot. I'm so bored. I don't care about these people. I don't care about the plot because the writing style, the narration, something about it is not really working for me. And I don't DNF books, and it's a short book, so I'm probably going to stick it out, but I'm not having a great time. Is it worth sticking it out? And the people who love this seem to really like it. But I want to know how it ends. I feel like I'm talking myself into a DNF. Oh no. Am I gonna do it? Oh no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to DNF. I have 2 hours. I'm just gonna finish it, see if it gets better. There is a chance that I prefer the direction that it heads. It's just a lot of setup and a lot of explanation, and it definitely feels like a younger protagonist, which is fine, but it's not hooking me. It's not grabbing me a lot, because there's just like a few things like, why are they eating people and nobody knows? Like, how can you be a secret cannibal? I don't get it. I don't get it, seeing how she goes to school and like never mentions it. Like, I was a blabber. I talk a lot, as you can probably tell. I like to yap. So I definitely would have yapped to my friends in school or anybody in school that I ever spoke to be like, yeah, it's normal to eat people, right? Right? That's normal? That's good? Anywho, I'm gonna keep reading. I need something to occupy myself with. I got bored with The Sims. I think because my office is just getting hot and I've sat in this chair all freaking day that I don't have a lot of creativity. I was like, oh, I'll color a page. I don't have a single pirate page to color. And I was like, I'll do this underwater one. But just like the thought of doing something, because it's so hot, I'm just like, maybe not. Maybe just not. So, yeah. Anywho, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna see where we get. We're gonna make some progress. There's gonna be a chatty bit in 1 minute, so that'll kind of break it up for me, and then we can go from there. But yeah, I'm not loving this one, which is a bummer. I really thought this was gonna be a 5-star prediction. People have compared this to A Certain Hunger. They've compared it to Bloom. Both of those, perfection 5-star books. They've also compared it to The Bog Wife. Not a favorite, but not terrible. But I can, I guess, see some of the comparisons. But it's just like, why are these things that I did like? And this isn't one of those things that I like. It, on paper, it sounds like I should love this because it's compared to things that I've loved. It's similar to things that I've enjoyed. Maybe I'm broken. Hard to say. This just in. I actually don't like reading, and the years that we have spent together have all been a lie. Why? So, The Lamb didn't get better. Are we surprised? Not really. But it's fine. I powered through it. It's so hard because I see potential. There's a lot of debate on whether or not the writing is good. I didn't mind the writing. It is a little convenient to write your novel in the perspective of an 11-year-old, to call it a coming of age, because I feel like it's a loophole for all of the plot holes, you know? Like, you can kind of be like, oh, well, she's 11, so of course she's gonna repeat words, and oh, she's 11, so of course she's gonna exaggerate and not understand, like, the world around her, because she's not supposed to leave her house. Sure. Okay, she's 11, so you're not gonna explain everything to me, or clue me in on what's really going on, because unreliable narrator, if you will, or it's a child, so her perspective is just, you know, more narrow. Sure, okay. I can see a lot of the comparisons. I understand a certain hunger because cannibalism, but in anything else, not at all the same. I can see the comparison to the Bog Wife, and I think that's like the only good comparison because, and even then, the Bog Wife still does it better because that feels so isolated. Like, yeah, it's set in the modern time, similar to The Lamb, but you felt the vast difference. Like, they had no electricity or running water. Like, life was so hard for them on the bog, whereas she's getting on a bus, going to school every day. She's having nice chats. Her mom can see her from the window. So she lives in the woods on a street. And it's just, you know, a lot of frustrating things. I overall never cared about the characters or the plot, and I understand the whole like metaphor of cannibalism's all about like love and consuming and feeling love and blah blah blah, and it didn't work for me. I love cannibalism in books, so it's unfortunate this didn't work for me because usually that's a buzzword. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm very underwhelmed by this story as a whole. I wanted it to end so often. I was so close at 75% just DNFing, and I was like, no, there's no point in DNFing this close to the end. You just gotta finish it. I should have probably DNF'd it sooner, but I really wanted to give this a chance. I've read 2 back-to-back debuts, and both of them have not been good, and that doesn't make me feel good. I don't like hating on this many books in a row. Like, who am I? I'm usually very generous with my ratings. I don't know. We can pretend that it's the jaw pain that is causing me. I think it's because my dog headbutted me earlier, and I think I'm now suffering from it later on. Anywho, I think we can just say, oh, Sam's just cranky because she was in so much pain throughout this whole video. I've taken Advil, so I'm better now. But with that said, oh, the other thing, there was this review, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see because the screen is so bright. But she does call it a feminist fairy tale about cannibalism, mother-daughter duo. So I'm counting that as a fairy tale book, even though like it's not. I thought because it says folk tale horror in the like synopsis and marketing of this book that I was like, oh yeah, it's like based off some type of myth or fairy tale. It's fully not, but it's kind of creating its own Hansel and Gretel type story. Like the horror is in the meaning of the story type thing. So it's got like a fairy tale essence, but it's not like based off a myth or anything. So I fluffed that one a little bit. I did not do enough research, and we're gonna call it good and say that I completed this prompt just because I didn't know better. But yeah, not technically a fairy tale. This one review says it's a fairy tale, so we're counting it as good. Okay, thank you. With that over and done with though, now I admit to you that I have done myself such a disservice. We are 13 hours, 40 minutes in. That means we've got like, 10 hours left? Almost? Which means that there's no way I'm finishing 3 more books because a lot of these on this list are chunky books. So anything, like any audiobook above 12 hours, there's just no way. I have a little sneaky thing so I can hopefully finish 4, but it really is going to depend on what we spin. So pray for me. I forgot to tighten this. I hope it lands on something good and it can't land on 5. Is that 9? Okay, what's 9? Oh no. 9. Shares first initial. Oh no. We've landed on 9, and the prompt for that is the author shares the same first initial as you. Oh, I have to go grab the book. So I feel like it's pretty common to have the first initial S, but on my like immediate TBR, there's not very many options. I have 2 options. One, with an audiobook coming in at 17 hours, or Try and True, Stephen Graham Jones. This was I Was a Teenage Slasher. This has been on my TBR for months, if not close to a year. This also fulfills the Summerween prompt. Today's the last day of Summerween, so if I can get this read close to midnight, I will call that as a win. If I get this done in time, that will round out my Summerween as well, which will feel nice, feel complete, because I think this was the last on like the official prompts. This is, I believe, the one that I put for owned for longer than a year. The first edition came out in July 2024. Let's go! So I've owned this for exactly 1 year. That worked out so well. So I was correct in my assumption. So I'm gonna read this. The audiobook comes in at 11 hours. This book is 372, which is doable, I think. Feels better for me, at least. So I'm gonna jump into this. I don't really know what this is about, except for we're following Tolly Driver and Amber Denson, and one of them is a teenage slasher. And I feel like this might be like a confessions situation. I don't know. But I'm reading a lot of Stephen Graham Jones this month, apparently. And I'm very excited to see if I like this. This was for the Literally Dead Book Club, and I just never got around to it. So it's going to feel good to read this. And then tomorrow or Monday, when I have free time, I'll watch the live show and catch up and see what everybody thinks. I know Kayla, I think, gave this 5 stars, if not 4. So high hopes, high expectations. Let's see how this goes. I will check in with you guys when I know what's going on. But I know that this is Texas, July 1989. So very summer ween. I'm so excited. Okay, let's do this. You know when a book is good. It's so good. So I was a teenage slasher. I've started. Austin came to chat with me, so I stopped in the middle of a chapter, but I'm 90 pages in. Figured now was a good time to check in, chit chat, say what's up. God, it feels so nice to be with good writing, good characters. I am invested. I'm emotional. There's been deaths. There's a massacre at the after party. It's a lot. Basically in this we are following Tolly, who is writing on like a website, kind of like a tell-all, be like, here's what really happened that night. And he's like explaining what happened, but also is like kind of writing a letter to Amber, who was his best friend and who has kind of disappeared, and they don't have a relationship anymore. But where we could simply go from here, I don't know, and I'm very excited to find out. I think this might hurt me. I'm so scared to cry. But as it comes late at night, it might happen. Anywho, he is recounting the evening in which a bunch of kids died at a party. So Deke, Stacy, his high school crush, he was, I believe, a freshman when they were seniors, and they weren't really invited to this party, but they kind of showed up because he had a crush on Stacy, and Stacy was like so good, so pure. And this is the same crew that was involved with another student's death. Think a la Walk to Remember. Similar to that. And so you've got Deke and Mandy and a bunch of other people, and horrible events happen at this party, and then a massacre happens at the party, and you're just like heartbroken and shattered a little bit, and you're like, oh my god, this is dark, and I love it. The writing is great. The character voice is strong. The emotions that I have felt towards every single one of these teenagers that I've barely met and have barely had any page time, incredible. I'm so happy to be reading a book that is good, and I have very high hopes for this. I'm really, really excited to see where we can go from here. This is set in, I think, like modern day, but it's being told from what happened in 1989. So you got that element as well. It's just a fun summer book, but like fun in a entertaining, but like bad things type of way. You know, that kind of fun. I'm really enjoying this. I've flown through the first 90 pages. We're 23% in. I've not even listened to a full hour, and I've just been hooked and invested. I'm like in this, and only like a couple. I'm getting hungry, so I'm hoping Austin's gonna make spaghetti here soon. It is 10 p.m., but I'm hoping that we'll get dinner going here soon, and I can keep reading this until then. But it's like, it's so easy to digest. It's so easy to just like be in it and not have to worry about like what I'm gonna read next or how long it's gonna take. It's just, you're just in it. You're just here for a good time, and it's good. I do like reading after all, thank God. So anyway, I'm gonna keep reading a little bit more of this. Probably have dinner here soon. I'll eat dinner and then finish this. That is the plan. The intent is to stay up for the full 24 hours, but I might have to take a little like power nap at some point, depending on how I feel. I was getting really sleepy when I was listening to The Lamb. But since starting this, I've gotten a little bit of energy back and my eyes are a little bit less tired. So, hoping I can stay up at least like a good chunk of the night. At least finish this. And if I'm lucky, I'll finish one more book that's a little bit shorter and all will be really well. Good morning. I did go to sleep. I'm sorry. Not that anybody cares. I had to make the decision. My jaw last night was hurting pretty bad that like opening it wasn't great. So by the time the makeup came off and the spaghetti came in, I was ready for bed. And so we watched a little bit of Fantasy High and I went to sleep around 1 in the morning. Allie is still live, which means the readathon is still going strong. This is where we're at. I got to 2:04 last night, so I have like an hour probably left. But the sleep did seem to help my jaw, so it doesn't hurt quite nearly as bad as it was yesterday. It's not quite as tight. I like a little bruise going on, small bump going on because of getting headbutted by a dog, but other than that, an hour and 40-ish minutes, which is cool, makes sense to me. I am still enjoying this, at least I was last night, this morning, whatever makes you feel better. I was enjoying this still. I stopped only for spaghetti because I was very hungry. So I'm gonna keep reading. Because I slept for 6 hours, I'm just gonna like extend for 6 hours and just like keep reading for a while because we're not leaving for our road trip until about 1 or 2. So I feel like in that time, depending on the next spin, I may be able to finish the book that I'm really hoping to get. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But for now, I'm going to, I think, sit back in that chair again because it's way more comfortable. And for the next 45 minutes, read this. I'll probably hang out because I think Allie's going to finish her book and then she'll end stream. Allie, champion as ever, staying up for a whole 24 hours. Good job. Normally would do it, couldn't this time, which is fine. I think honestly, wise decision if you listen to your body rather than go strong for a video because it's not always going to be worth it. So anyways, I'm yapping, I'm rambling. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to get this read. It's later and I finished this book. A moment of silence for the single tear fell out of my eye while reading the ending. Just that one lone tear. Oh my god. This was great. I can definitely see the similarities to the trilogy, which I have not continued in. My Heart is a Chainsaw. I like the slasher things. I like that stream of consciousness. I think this was better than My Heart is a Chainsaw because I don't watch slasher movies. I'm not really up to date. But I did really enjoy the ending of My Heart is a Chainsaw. I really like this throughout. There was like a bit of a lull in the middle where I was like so eager to understand this book that I just really wanted to get to the conclusion. I wanted to know where we were headed, what's going to end, like what's real, what's not, what all of it meant. I really needed to know how it was going to end. And so I think my eagerness made the middle feel a bit drawn out, but I think that it was well paced. I think that you're getting everything that it's meant to be. Everything that's supposed to happen happens when it needs to. The deaths are constant. It's not like a one here and then like one way far away. Like it's consistent. I, more than anything, loved the love in this book, the humor in this book, and the take of the slasher themselves, like a slasher being a supernatural being. That's so good. I loved Amber, who is the best friend, who is kind of like coaching Tully through potentially being a slasher and testing him with different skills, being like, hey, what if you hold like this knife and go run and we can see how much faster you run? Like, I just love the science and experiments behind like what if you are a slasher and it being like this supernatural thing. I really enjoyed the mind of this character. I really enjoyed the way this was told and the humor of it. It wasn't a super like dark thing. There's a little bit of gore and a little bit of disgust, if you will, but it wasn't too much. I think this is pretty like friendly for a lot of readers. I'm really happy that I enjoyed this. I tried to read this like 2 or 3 different times. Like, I picked it up, I've been holding on to the audiobook for so long. I had started, I had listened to the first chapter, and I just was never in the right space. I was like not vibing with it, and this was the time. I think because I've had back to back to back 3 different 2-star reads, that it was like finally like a fresh of breath air to be like, oh god, I do like writing. Stephen Graham Jones, tried and true. I did go through and give a ranking of the books that I have read, which isn't too terribly many. He has a lot of short fiction, so I haven't read nearly enough long fiction. I will be reading Buffalo Hunter Hunter here very soon this month, because I'm going to be reading this for Breeze over Locked Fiction's Blackoween July Noir. So I will be reading another Stephen Graham Jones, which is crazy. I don't typically read this much of an author, and I still have the trilogy that I could catch up on, and he's got a bunch of novellas that I have not read. I really want to pick up Mapping of the Something and Mongrels I want to try. There's a couple other, but I've read some of his more like obscure audio only releases, although I know The Babysitter Lives is getting a print edition with Paul Tremblay, and after finishing this, I have never wanted so badly to pick up the Paul Bearers Club. So badly. Like, I desperately need it. I think I need to buy a copy. Ooh, we're going out today. Maybe we can like find a bookstore and maybe they'll have it. That could be nice. Anyways, I really like this. This is 4 stars. The reason that it's not quite a full 5 is I think just because the pacing, I just was impatient with this book. I just really wanted it to be shorter so that I could get to the end and know how it ended and knew what everything meant. But yeah, the love that was shown in this book, the way that it ends, is so beautiful. I did not predict the correct ending. Trying so hard to not spoil. I didn't guess the correct ending, and so I was pleasantly surprised with how it turned and the way that it all worked out. I am pleased with how it ended. I'm happy that it ended in that location, in that time and place and whatever. I don't think it's over, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think we're gonna get a sequel to this, but I think if this got turned into a movie, which I think this would make a really great film adaptation, like, I don't think any of his other books really, except maybe The Babysitter Lives, but none of them really scream like movie. This one screams like a good campy slasher movie that I think I would rather enjoy. But I think the end of the movie would have such sequel baiting that you would be like, what do you mean? I think it'd be so beautiful the way that it could end in a movie. Anyways, I am really, really happy with this. I'm so freaking pleased that I liked it. There's a cat on my desk, so I don't know where to put this. And now, after reading that, we can spin our wheel. These are the side quests, and I have one book in mind that I'm hoping to get. What is that? D? So D is a book over 400 pages. Seeing as time is running a little short, over 400 pages is super doable, but the things that I have on my TBR are like way over. And the plan is to finish at least these 4 books before 1 p.m. It's currently 10 a.m., so 10, 11, 12, 1. I'd have 3 hours to read a book. And I'm thinking maybe we cheat just a tiny bit. Just a little teensy cheat. Because I'm currently in the middle of a book. I'm at, like, literally 56% in. So I have 224 pages left, which isn't 400. But the book is over 400 normally, and who cares, really? I can roll again and fulfill a different prompt, but I really, really would like to finish Eclipse of the Crown by A.K. Kageyama. This is the 3rd book in the Throne in the Dark, Villains and Virtue series, which, you know, I've been loving. It's one of my favorite books and favorite series of this whole year, and I would really like to just finish this, and I've been waiting for a role to work for this for so long. I have so many options, like anything on my TBR cart is like over 400 pages. Anything that I want to read is probably close to 400 pages. I just don't want to read a really big chunky book right now. I really just want to read this, and so we're gonna count it. Sorry, sorry, I'm cheating. Here we are. Thrown in the Dark, let me tell you what it's about, in case you're curious, in case you don't know. This is a rom-com romantasy series following a half-demon prince, Damien, who is on a quest to break his father out of a gem. And we are following Amma, who is a small little thief, who is this bubbly blonde, who is the sunshine to his grumpy, and they kind of have a meet cute in a little cave where a talisman gets absorbed into Amma, and that gives Damien full control over her with the little use of a code word. And they go on a journey to, one, like, kind of get the talisman out of her, but the only way to do that is to kill her. And although Damien is this dark and brooding demon prince, he also is kind of a cinnamon roll, but he's so evil, okay? Don't be fooled. He's so evil, but maybe he saves a village or two. He's just, I love them so much. I have had so much fun with these characters and the side characters, the world. It's very high fantasy. You've got all of like the D&D feel to it. I just am really enjoying this. It's so cute. It's such a slow burn, the first 2 books. And now in the 3rd book, the conclusion, not including like the spin-off following different characters. Oh boy, howdy. I'm so happy to be with them and have them like admit feelings towards each other and like be open and honest in the conversations around consent, because again, he has the ability to basically mind control her, like tell her what to do, and she has to listen to that command. Think a la Ella Enchanted, but he has the command to it, and so he's very cautious and careful, being like, I don't want to romantically entangle our lives because it doesn't feel quite right. And it does change a little bit in the 3rd book, and they have a lot of conversations around it, but he's the one that's like, this doesn't feel right. Like, even if I want to do stuff with you, I don't really, because it's a control thing, and so there's a power imbalance, and I really appreciate those conversations, and I'm very excited to be back in this world. So luckily I do have an audiobook as well, which feels great. I started this readathon with like 20 holds on Libby, and now we're at 17 because I finished 3 books. And now we're going to get rid of a 4th one. And that's going to feel so good. This is one that I cannot listen to at 3 times speed because the narrator for Damien speaks really fast compared to Amma. So we're going to 2.75. We have 6 hours and 20 minutes left, which is around 2 hours, 25 minutes or something like that. So I'm going to get started on this. We've got 2 hours, so this will end me about noon. Maybe 12:30 if I don't stop and take breaks, and then that gives me time to like pack and get ready for our road trip for the evening or afternoon. So this actually works out very well for me. And then I think, although it's not going to be like a 24-hour scallywagathon completion of any type, I will probably spin the last wheel for the Lost City, so we at least know what prompt I'm reading for, and we can kind of work on concluding that. I'll have all month. Me completing this in 24 hours was kind of just like for fun and to see if I could do it and how far I could get, because I'm doing so much this month, and so this is just like a nice little reprieve because I don't have super crazy plans. What are you doing? But yes, anywho, this was just for fun, so now I'm going to finish this book. We'll have to see where we get at with the Tainted Cup, and I'll maybe include you guys in that, but that's the audiobook that will be on the go for the road trip. And then I will spin the Lost City. We'll read a book throughout the month, and it'll be great. My goodness, this cat. Okay, goodbye. No. And with 1:15 on the clock, technically 1:13, I have finished our 4th book. So 24 hours, 6 hours of sleep, 3.5 books read and completed within my time frame, which I think is pretty successful. 5 stars. I really love this. I love these characters. I love the world. I love the humor. I love the just like absolute satire of the romantasy genre. It's so refreshing, but also still exhilarating. You're so excited to see what's going to happen next and how they're going to get out of the sticky situations they put themselves in. It's just beautiful. It's just so good. I love this series. I'm so happy that I read it. I'm so happy I cheated so that I could read it with you guys and finish it. I'm so excited. I will most likely this year finish all of the companion books as well. Like, they're high priority for the last 6 months of the year. I will probably space them a little bit just so I, you know, have enough good to go around for the year. But that is done and complete. So we have one final spin, and this is going to be for The Lost City, which won't happen in this time manner, but will be nice to at least have this information. 3 again. I got 3 last time too. Okay, 3 is makes you feel powerful, which could be so many things. It's a very broad and up to your own interpretation kind of prompt. So I have a lot of romantasy picked for it. I'll be honest. One of the options being this absolute monster of a book. Holy cow, this thing is so big. 636 pages for this beauty. Powerful because that's a beast, and if I finish it, you know, powerful feeling to read intimidating books. I also have Onyx Storm, which is the 3rd book in the 4th Wing series that I've yet to finish. But also intimidating. I started in January and I just haven't revisited. So that's a contender. City of Gods and Monsters, another chunky romantasy that I think we talked about in this video earlier. And that's also a good contender because, again, chunky, out of my comfort zone. It'll feel powerful to, you know, read a book with probably a very strong-willed heroine main protagonist. So I have some contenders. I'll kind of play it by ear, probably pick one. The goal, the dream, is to read all 3 of these anyway, so we're gonna kind of just play it by ear. I'm kind of leaning towards Onyx Storm, just because I know for a fact that Violet is a very resilient character and very strong, and her strength encourages me in my day-to-day life, just being like, girl, she can do this. If she can learn how to ride a dragon, I can go to my stupid job. So I do think that'll probably be the pick, but because it's the 3rd book in a series, I don't have a lot to really say because I don't want to spoil anything, even though I'm sure anyone who's been interested in it has already read it. So we'll play it by ear. But yes, what a successful video. I read 2 physical books off my TBR. I read one on my Kindle. I read an audiobook that was not my anticipated, but a new release. I've read 2 2-stars, a 4-star, and a 5-star. And we're ending on a bang. Yes! Okay, what a win. All right, I'm now off to go pack a light bag and prepare for a road trip. I need to get some food in me so I don't get car sick. We're going to a musical down in Ashland at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. So that's our evening plans. I'm very excited. We're going to get dinner. Can't wait. I think it's pizza. Can't wait. So, anywho's, goodbye. Thank you guys. I will see you guys all later. I don't know if this is the end of this video or if we're continuing on with the next readathon of Black Halloween. Don't know. Don't ask me. We'll figure it out together. Bye!